How do you know you made the right decision is how we are going to direct this conversation today. What you see here in front of you, you can see it written there. It's a human design chart. It's your energetic blueprints. It ultimately allows your purpose to flow through you, understanding who you truly are, making correct decisions for yourself. That's a lot of jargon, but let's get into the cool stuff. Who are you? How do you know you made the right decision? Well, I'm going to be pointing to a variety of different places on this chart here and move through a bunch of different things. Firstly, I want to say that you are not an instantaneous being. There's actually two different places in your chart. This brown triangle here and this white triangle here. It does indicate that you are not an instantaneous being. What does that even mean? There's actually no truth in the now for you. So if you're making big decisions, you really do need to take your time making decisions. I know that there are some big decisions that you have made, and let's go through you and your decision making process to see if this is the correct decision for you. All right, well, I bet that when the decision came at you or the question came at you, I bet you were overwhelmed mentally. You didn't know how you wanted to commit, and you also didn't know if it was a proper system or support group for you to help push you forward and get you moving. So, you might have overthought a bunch of things. You might have thought about the commitments of things. You might have thought about, am I going to have to get rid of things? Am I going to have to accept new things? Am I going to be pressurized to do a bunch of physical things that I don't want to do? So yeah, there was definitely a lot of things that you had to move through. All of this uncertainty. But there is no truth in the now for you. Like I said earlier, you are not an instantaneous being because of these two regions here. It is actually a part of who you are to really wait to get clarity. Now, what clarity means is maybe you'll only ever be like 70% certain. And if you are 70% certain, that's awesome. You're pretty darn clear. And congratulations for getting that much clarity. Or maybe there's a decision that you need to make, but you're still really nervous towards it. Like, I don't know. That is still really not a good time to make a decision. Or let's just say that you are super excited or frustrated or angry. Those are not good times to make a decision either. Making a decision when you have the least amount of emotions involved as possible is gaining clarity as well. So you're just really seeing if you really want to participate in the up wave and the down wave of that experience. Now, when people offer you something, FUSLIE, they really see your energy and they want it. So the thing is that I told you that making decisions in the now really isn't the best for you because you're not really an instantaneous being. So what you should really be telling people is, hold on, wait. Just give me a moment to think about that. And for very large decisions, you obviously need a lot of time. And of course, two different things can happen. Either you can make the decision yourself or the deal falls through. Now, as you're making the decision for yourself in a reasonably timely manner, if that decision happens to fall through, then your energy protected you. Because imagine if you were to have started the process of moving over to that new thing that you were about to move over to and the contract fell through and you had already quit the other one and you were packing up your things to move to the next one. And yeah, truly, you waiting for clarity has really protected you there. So, like I said, you need to do it in a reasonable time, your decision making. But of course, taking time is really, really important to you. Because I'm sure that when you're super excited, you've committed to a lot of things. And as this here, you might feel like you are obligated to do it anyway, to be that good tribes person, that good group person, that good lady. So you actually don't have consistent access to willpower. I'm not saying that you don't have any. I'm just saying that you need to gain clarity of what it is that you need to commit to. Because you don't want to waste your energy trying to prove yourself, trying to prove that you can do it alone, or trying to prove that you're inspirational, or trying to prove that you can get yourself moving. Prove you have control. So, making commitments when you're in the heat of the moment, whether it be angry or excited, once again, it's kind of emphasizing that idea of you don't have that instantaneous access to that commitment. So really, how do you go about making decisions for you? Well, you have this beautiful sacral here, this guttural sound that you've been gifted with, or 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 just like a baby when they don't like something, they're like, eh. So you are gifted with those sounds, those caveman-like sounds, those baby-like sounds, like all of those grunts. Sometimes they're actually deconditioned out of us, because I know from my parents, they said the words like yeah and nah weren't even acceptable, so you have to say your yes and no. So let me ask you some questions. Do you like pizza? Do you like chilling with Ray? Do you enjoy being a content creator? So your body was telling you things. It could have felt like a rise or a decrease in your tummy. It could have felt like this movement towards or against, or maybe it just sounded like, because that's also a guttural sound too. So did you make the correct decision? Did you gain clarity? Or did you make those decisions in the moment, and you made those decisions in the heat of the emotions, whether it be good or bad, and either you quit something or you committed to something, and then once you left it, the aura of whoever you committed, you're like, oh my God, why did I just do that? So I'm going to run over a little bit of jargon here. The colored in stuff is who you are. This is what you put out into the world. You are a person who is here to gain clarity, because you do know what is enough. Or you do know when enough is enough. You do have that juicy life force energy that's just going to pull people, places, life, and experiences towards you. For example, this is being pulled towards you in life, and you didn't even ask for it. You are a person who is possibly very centering to others, and you are going to explore your convictions no matter what. So people might call you stubborn, but you are a person who is charismatic, where where thoughts must become deeds. So I bet your busy mind really has your body moving a lot. But you want to make sure that you're gaining the proper clarity over who you are, or what your decisions are for you. I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to say. But you do need to gain clarity over what is correct for you, what you want to use that juicy life force energy for. Because yes, there are going to be a lot of things running through your head. And what's interesting for you is that you have the capability of being in the now. And what does that even mean? Is that you see here you see, hear, or maybe even feel things in the now that other people don't even see. So that is a gift that you do have. And being in the now, listening to what you say in the now is really important for you. This is actually kind of fun here. This 15, my fiance has this, and this is the gate of the extremes. So I wonder if people call you a little bit extreme or wild, or, doing things the odd way out. But yes, here, this is the channel of the prodigal, a design of being a witness, where people just verbal diarrhea stuff at you. But what's interesting is that this is used later on as kind of like a referenced dictionary in the future for you. So what does all of this stuff even mean here for you? Well, your shining light out into the world is that you are... Oh, I didn't even mention this. I apologize. This is the channel of mating, a design of focused on reproduction. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a sexual thing. Sometimes it is, but it's really talking about the beginning of something, the friction that it requires to start something new. So you are a person here to gain clarity of what it is that you want to use your JC Life Force energy on, because you're going to follow your convictions no matter what. You are this person who is an influence. You are a person who is a prodigal, who is this charismatic being where people might feel centered around you. Now, you are a person who is going to be absorbed in their own process, doing your own thing. And you know exactly what direction that you need to go in. And by listening to your and your and gaining clarity over that over time, you will continue to make correct decisions for yourself. Now, when you're frustrated, that is a key indicator that something needs to change for you. And what needs to happen then? Well, when life comes at you, it is from that moment that you need to say your or and gain clarity over what it is that you need to do. Maybe there's a multitude of doors that you can go through, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe door number 2 is the most clear because you need to make a decision now. So I do suggest going through door number 2 since you have the most clarity over that one. So this is what you put out into the world, all the colored stuff. Now, the thing is that you are possibly convinced, your mind is possibly convinced that you have to be this white stuff in your chart. But it's just inconsistent and unreliable. So we end up getting really frustrated when we try to live our life out of these white centers. Now, how can you see life out of these white centers? What is your mind convinced that you are? Well, you are possibly convinced that you need to prove yourself, whether that be your competitive self, or how you have control in life, or the materialistic things in your life. And you might feel like you have to prove that you know, prove that you have the answers, prove that you are an inspirational being, prove that you might be able to be inspired by something. Or you might feel like you have to prove that you are a great support system, or that you can do it by yourself, let go of all the things that were good for you. Or maybe you can feel like you prove that, you can change your environment and manipulate it to your will, or you can grow it. But these aspects, when you try to grow your environment, or when you get rid of support systems, or you try to prove your knowledge, or try to prove being inspirational, you will end up being frustrated, and you really should go back to who you are. And that is saying and and gaining clarity over time. Allowing that friction in your life so that those new things can be born. Allowing yourself to be this charismatic person who is going to follow their convictions no matter what. Who is this prodigal? You are here to know your direction and to transform. Once again, you will be quite frustrated when you try to prove yourself and you have nothing to prove. Not even to yourself. So stop trying to prove yourself. Now, there is a multitude of things that I could be saying here, but I actually don't have your exact time of birth. This is not astrology. This is not chakras. It is a synthesis of a multitude of things, and it is human design. Allowing your true yes and no to shine through so that your purpose can automatically flow through you. And your purpose here is incarnation cross, the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix. Now, if you want to Google that, make sure you include the numbers as well at the end and the right angle here, because that's a whole different reading itself. But yes, I'm going to review the same question that we started with. How do you know that you made the correct decision? Well, were you still nervous when you made that decision? Did you have that clarity? Did you make that decision instantaneously? Because there is no truth in the now for you. You being an instantaneous and risky being is going against your own energy. So, did you make the correct decision? Did you allow time for yourself to allow all of the possibilities to flow through you, the ups and downs, before making that decision? Or maybe you didn't have enough time to make that decision and you were forced. So was door number 1, 2, 3, or 4 the most clear? Did you make the right decision? Did you make that decision out of trying to be a good girl or trying to prove yourself? Did you try to make that decision out of trying to be inspirational or trying to prove your knowledge? When you try to prove yourself or try to prove your knowledge or try to be inspirational, that's not you. Did your body say, or maybe you don't even know, and the answer, I don't know, is the correct answer for you too, and all you need at that point is just more time. Maybe more time is 5 minutes. Maybe in 5 minutes it will change to an or Maybe it just wasn't asked in the correct way, and you just need somebody to ask you again correctly. Do you want to go to the store right now? Funny thing is that I bet people over time have called you a procrastinator. But that's just outsiders looking in, trying to get you to move. But I bet you know the exact and proper timing of everything that needs to get done. And you probably get it done fast when you do decide to move. But the thing is that you might find yourself frustrated because you did it so fast and you might have skipped a few steps because you are a manifesting generator. But regarding this center here, movement is important to you. I'm not a doctor, but it's important for you. I don't have your exact time of birth. This was a lot of fun. We could go about 18 hours into who you are if I actually had your time of birth. Like, what is your profile in life? What is your costume in life? How do people see you? How do you see yourself? We could go into like the year coming. We could just do a bunch of different things. But I just wanted to go over regarding this question. Did you make the correct decision?